So Reedie just had one of these this week. So Reedie, where are you? And tell us the story of this client.
All right, Nate, I am in Pinehurst, North Carolina. We got Aberdeen and Southern Pines. They surround us, several other communities. This fellow was in Pinehurst, and he called us out there. He sat me down. He said, first things first, I want to get a HVAC system that's very efficient, that qualifies for the tax rebate. I do not want to spend top dollar. And I know that there's several that qualify. And so we'd already sent him the 4 questions, the comfort quiz. And
Mm-hmm.
he didn't bother to answer those questions. This person was really just interested in the $2,000. It was like a shiny thing, not unlike the thing that you see on the screen to your left or your right, all this shiny stuff. He's been interested in shiny stuff before, and it hasn't worked, but he's interested in more shiny stuff. So, in any event, these pictures right here, they show his ductwork. The first one on the left hand side is held up with a piece of PVC. Uh, that's not a proper duct hanger. The next one in the middle, it's got a hole in it that somebody put tape on. You can't see it, but that tape is plastic. It's not even metal tape. And then the third one, that's a return header, and it leaks directly to the outside. So if you take the third picture and the second picture, you've got one that blows. That's the second one. The other that sucks. This is not good ventilation. This is just air that's being blown out of the house and air that's being sucked into the house that isn't really conditioned at all. As I told him in the observations, I have a list of things that I always write down, observations, and the observations that I made were that he had a 4-ton in a 1,600 square foot house, which is wildly oversized. If he'd have let me down the blower door, we could have known that for certain. He didn't let me do that. He didn't want to do anything, but he was satisfied with what he had. So we told him about the duct system, how bad a shape it's in, told him that the crawl space, even though that vapor barrier looks good right there's places where there's water on top of it. The insulation isn't good. You can't really see it, but it's R7 insulation in the floors. And so, he had a series of things that just weren't good. He was the customer that was all he was emotionally attached by was the money. He was afraid to spend any more money. He was driven by that $2,000. He wasn't driven by comfort, even though he voiced to me that there were times that his house was dusty. He wasn't driven by anything but that money. When we talked, we went through it. There's a few that come up that qualify for that tax credit. I recommended to him that he change his duct system. He put in a variable capacity communicating system. That was my second line recommendation. This was that he does a comfort consult and we find out the truth. He didn't take either of those. He went for the cheapest of the cheap, and it was still capable. I advised him it may not dehumidify as well. He said he didn't care. He said, when we get to that, we'll deal with that when we get to it. Well, if you look at that duct system, you can see he's not going to deal with nothing, because that dehumidifier ain't going to do anything for him because he's conditioning the underside of his house. This dude,
now, to be clear,
we put it
Reedie,
in.
This looks like it may be an encapsulated crawl space. Is it?
Yeah, but it is not an encapsulated crawl space. This is wide open. You can't really see any of the piers or anything. It's not put up. It's not sealed up. It's just a piece of vapor barrier laying on the ground is all it is. No dehumidifier, no sealing on the floors or the rim joists or the door or the foundation vents. It's all wide open. And
is it vented?
it is vented. It is
Of course.
completely vented to the outside. And so he's got major problems, but he's chasing after this big 2000, just like your gas pipe guy for the free gas pipe. He's chasing after it, and his house is not going to feel good. And I've done my best to responsibly avoid responsibility. I documented every bit of this, that he didn't answer the questions, that he didn't want to do a comfort consult, that he didn't want to do anything but get that. And you know what? We put it in today. I don't know what the outcome is because I haven't been back there, but today they put that thing in, and so I guess we'll see something soon. But
so you sold it?
You don't want? Yeah, I did.
You sold it.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's certain people that may think that it's not good to sell it.
A-path, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like for like. I mean, there are certain people that would say it's not good to sell it, but the key is it was his specification. You know what we do, Nate? One of the things that we do is we do a likely load range. He's got a 4-ton right there right now. He didn't give me his electric bill, so I couldn't do it. I went as low as I could see that it would reasonably go, which is 2.2 tons. And I went as high as I could see that it was 4 tons. I gave him the range. I said, okay, you pick. What do you want to do? You want to go 2 tons? You want to go 4? He goes, I think we should go 3. I said, I think that's fine. And so we put a 3-ton in there, and that's that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
so look at the corner. Look at the guy in the corner. That's it. It looks good to me.